Today, we're talking about the Vulcan Chapter 1 Pickleball Paddle Series, and in this video, I'm using the Widebody version called White Noise. So if you're curious about this premium pickleball paddle, and if it's worth $250, then this review is for you. And remember, I am not sponsored, so all of the thoughts I am going to give are my own, and I had to buy this paddle with my own money. So today, let's cover the good, the bad, and the ugly about the Vulcan Chapter 1 Pickleball paddles. Let's start right off with the good. The first thing I'll say is that I could absolutely see myself playing in a pickleball tournament with this paddle. It's a well-rounded paddle that performs well in most areas and is UPAA approved for competitive play. The obvious strength of the White Noise, which is their wide-body version, was the light swing weight, which came in at just 108. So if you like quick hands at the kitchen and fast reactions during hands battles, this paddle delivers. Power is also solid. I measured serve speeds at around 60.3 miles an hour, which is above average compared to many other paddles that I've tried. The spin potential also surprised me, because on the website, it said that this paddle had a T700 Tri-Laminate raw carbon fiber face, but it felt relatively smooth to the touch. However, I measured around 2,300 RPMs worth of spin, which is above average. Players who rely heavily on top spins for drives, roll volleys, or aggressive spin shots will be happy with the results of this paddle. We should also keep in mind that this is a Gen 4 pickleball paddle thanks to Vulcan's dual density V-foam core, which is an EPP foam surrounded by EVA with some cutouts along the edges, and a V right above the handle. Overall, the Vulcan Chapter 1 series is a balanced pickleball paddle series with good power, above average spin, excellent maneuverability, and a tournament-ready performance. But now let's move on to the bad. Starting off with the negatives, although the spin numbers were good, I expect the spin performance to decline faster than some competing paddles on the market due to their lack of a durable grit surface. Vulcan is behind on this type of technology, which means that the spin probably won't live up to expectations over the long term. On top of that, the dual density V-foam core felt fine, but it didn't provide any noticeable advantage over other premium foam core paddles on the market. This equally applies to Vulcan's proprietary weight system in their edge guard, but the sweet spot felt normal, and the paddle stability felt average. Nothing about those technologies really stood out during gameplay. Now let's move on to the ugly. The biggest issue I have with the Vulcan Chapter 1 Pickleball Paddle Series in general is the $250 price. This paddle enters one of the most competitive price ranges in pickleball, and with their current technology, I just don't think it lives up to the competition. The problem is that there are other paddles at this price point that offers long-lasting grits, more stability, larger sweet spots, and in some cases, better overall value. To be clear, this is not a bad pickleball paddle by any means. In fact, I would say this is a very good pickleball paddle, and like I said, I would feel comfortable using this paddle in a tournament, but it would not be my first choice. For me, the value simply isn't there for a $250 paddle. Personally, I think this paddle would make much more sense at around $180 to $200. At that price, I think the value proposition and the technology that's in this paddle makes a lot more sense, and I could recommend it at those price points, but I cannot recommend it at $250. So when I compare this paddle with other pickleball paddles on the market, I just don't think Vulcan's technology lives up to the competition, especially when we factor in core technology and long-lasting surface grits. The final verdict in my book is that the Vulcan Chapter 1 Pickleball Paddle Series is a solid Generation 4 full foam pickleball paddle that gives you fast hands, above average spin, good power, and is very comfortable. It's easy to use, and I would recommend it to players who are about to go into a tournament but don't want any surprises. It seems that its greatest strength is being a well-rounded pickleball paddle, and that is what you want in a tournament. It's a paddle I would gladly play with, but not one I would personally buy or recommend, despite me having to buy one for this particular review. So if you've played with the Vulcan Chapter 1 White Noise or any of the other ones in the Chapter 1 Pickleball Paddle series, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more pickleball paddle reviews, pickleball gear reviews, and honest evaluations of the best pickleball equipment on the market. With that being said, I will see you in the next one.